Hey everybody, Whitney with Girl Friday Crafts, and this is the first video in what I am calling uh, 15 projects in 15 days. It's actually going to be a little bit more than that because I'm going to do a project a day with the April Club Couture kit because we are running some awesome promos for club members in April, so we're trying to hype that up. Plus, it's super cute. And it's April 11th, so I have more than 15 days left in the month of April. But 15 projects in 15 days just sounds catchy, so we're going to go with it. So today I'm going to put this transfer on our lumbar pillow cover. I wanted something that I could kind of do today all in one sitting, and also wanted to be able to demonstrate a paste and peel technique with this, and so this is a good way to do that. I am not using an ink mat. I have a piece of cardboard under here, which I'm hoping I don't come to regret. I have a love-hate relationship with our ink mats, and so the cardboard works if you are comfortable with chalk and all the things. Cardboard works really well underneath your textiles when you're using ink so that it doesn't bleed. And yeah, I don't know. I opted for this and not for an ink mat today. I'm not really loving the lighting situation. Let's see if we can make that better. Maybe it's a little bit better. I really should probably open the blinds. It's very sunny outside today. So today would be a good day to be getting some natural light. But we're here. I'm started. We're just going with it. No, I'm not started because I don't have tools. This was another one of my impromptu. I have a brief window. I'm going to try and get this done. Also trying to be very careful with this being a white surface about my ink situation, and attempting not to get ink on here that I don't want. Hee hee. Okay, so we're going to start up here with some black velvet, and I always ink away from where I don't want color, if that makes sense. So I'm going to do strawberries in a different color. I don't want to get any black in that negative space. So when I apply this with my squeegee, I am moving away from the word strawberries, just in an effort to kind of help control that. Now I'm going to use the black again, but we're going to lift this up first. So this is the paste and peel. So you do the section that you want. You lift it up very slowly and carefully. And you just kind of let the transfer fall back down naturally. You don't have to push it back down. Just let it go on its own. And then we're going to use Love Struck, which was a color of the month, or an ink of the month, a couple months ago. And this I'm going to do away from the Fresh. So again, trying to keep the red ink out of the area where I have the black ink. Not the end of the world, and a lot of times I find when I think I have mixed them together, I actually haven't, but I'm still trying. Also trying to use a little more ink. I find, for me personally, I have to use more ink than I do when I'm working with paste because the fabric absorbs it, and I tend to not use enough when I first start. So we're gonna try to do a little bit. One thing, if you're new, that you can do, I don't necessarily have to do it this way, but is kind of get enough on there that you really can't even see your design. So really be very liberal with it, and then just squeegee off all of your excess. So for me in ink, that might not be a bad strategy for me to start to try. And you can get that excess back in your jar so you're not wasting it. It's really not problematic. Okay. And we'll use the Love Struck again as well on our little strawberries. Now the advantage to the ink mat is that it holds the surface. It holds your textile, whatever you're working on, t-shirt, tea towel, pillowcase. It holds it in place. So when you lift up the transfer, your surface does not come with it. I don't struggle with them as much for these kinds of things as I do with t-shirts, just because getting the ink mat inside the t-shirt, on the t-shirt, whatever way. However you think about it is just, it's challenging. I haven't quite mastered that yet. Now on this part, I'm just going to try to work fast. Oh, it shouldn't still be on. Turned my mini press on earlier to try to get some of the wrinkles out of this, and I forgot to turn it off apparently. Because I'm using a different color where it says 25 cents a pint, I don't want to lift the transfer up because I won't really be able to push on it to get it to lay flat again. And I need it to be nice and flat against the pillow cover. So we're going to do this in Pucker. We just got Pucker as an ink, which I love. It's a great shimmer yellow. Very fun for summer. It's actually really fun for holidays if you're doing like stars or something like that. So I wanted to throw a little bit of that in here. So we're done with Pucker, so I'm going to put that away. Again, we're going to lift this. Rocking back and forth helps too. Oh, that did good. Okay. Okay. So then, oh, actually, I might use the pucker again for that. I'm going to use some Scout, which is a metallic green. This was also a color of the month in Paste a while back, and we got it as an ink color, which is really fun. Probably should be stirring that up. But I have no idea what I'm doing with this pillow when it's done, so it's kind of all about technique more than anything, and just showing different things that you can do with this. I have several ideas in mind for upcoming projects. If you have an idea, I'd love to hear it. And, definitely thinking about ways to utilize this transfer with other transfers. It's funny, I can smell the metallic in that. Okay, now this time I'm going to do this kind of sideways. So we're going to peel up from the side here. These strawberries are going to take a little bit of time because I need to do some Love Struck, and then we're going to do Meadow for the leaves, and so I don't want to let that sit, let the U-pick sit for very long. And then for this, I'm going to use my having a strategy session in my head. I'm going to use my multi-tool to do the leaves. So that I have some control. And it's also a smaller it's a little bit of a smaller squeegee. I like this because I can hold it like a pencil. So when I'm trying to get into these smaller areas, I have that pencil-like control with it. All right, that was all just very repetitive. So there's that one. Now that takes a little bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this up and I'm just going to lift that part. Nothing else. Try not to get anything else anyway. Okay. And then I like to use the squeegee edge of the detail tool when I've done something like this and I need to push the transfer back down, and I can't really do it with my fingers, to make sure that I can get in there. And then we'll do this. And then we'll lift this up. Hey. All right, I'm recording something, so. What? I said I'm recording something, so give me like 5 minutes. I said I'm recording something, so give me like 5 minutes. So, a very few things suck worse than pausing a recording and forgetting to come back and hit the record button again. So, I mean, you all got the gist of what I was doing. I finished the strawberries using the detail tool to get up in around the stems so I wouldn't intermix the red and the green. Came back with my pucker and added the arrow. And so all that we have left to do is we're going to let this dry. I'm going to clean the transfer. And on the transfer were seeds for the strawberries. So I'll lay those down on the strawberries and go over those in black. So we have that little detail. So we're going to dry this and clean the transfer, and then I will finish recording when I come back to add that little seed detail to our strawberries. All right, so this is nice and dry. So we're going to lay the transfer back down. Make sure that my transfer is dry. With the seeds on top of the strawberries. Now, it would have been really lovely if the placement of the seeds had lined up with the same angle of the strawberries, but that's okay. All fine. Okay, so we're going to get my black paste. Oh, I am out of paper towels down here. That is not good. Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm going to need a couple of things to help me accomplish this all in one shot. All right, so one, just some tissue paper to set my ink on, and that's kind of a smaller squeegee. I'm going to go over this. And you're going to feel like you have to stay in the strawberry area, but you don't, because there's no negative space other than where the seeds are. So if you go off of that, it's okay, because it's not going to get black anywhere. Okay. So we're going to do that. All right, so now let's see here. I want to put something in such a way that the transfer can touch it. I don't want to have to wash this again, but I can't let that lay completely down or it's going to end up getting ink where I don't want it. So I have to hold this up right here, which isn't that hard. I've got plenty of room. And same thing, your brain's going to want to stay in the strawberry, but you don't have to. Pull that up slowly, and I'm going to lay this upside down on the packaging for the transfer because the backer sheet is still upstairs. And we're going to get all of my ink and everything put away before I mess anything up. And then all that is left to do here is to heat set this. So if you are working with ink and you want it to be permanent, it has to be heat set. So, and the nice thing is, hold on one second, I need my drying tool. My apologies. Is you don't need a huge heat press. If you don't have need for a heat press, like a large one, if you don't do t-shirts or anything like that, you can use something like this Cricut mini press, and that will heat set. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that on and turn it all the way up. And give me 1 second. We're going to go ahead and dry this. Actually, I'm going to pull the cardboard out now. I don't need that, and I don't want it inside there when I dry this. Now, these pillow covers are very nice and absorbent. That was the cardboard that was inside there. Did not get a lot of ink on it. You do want to make sure it's as dry as possible before you heat set. And you want to put either parchment paper or Teflon paper down over your ink. I like to use Teflon paper. Parchment paper tends to leave more of a matte finish, whereas the Teflon paper tends to allow the color to stay true. So if it's metallic or a shimmer, it doesn't really dull that. In my experience, other people may have completely different experience. I have my mini press here. A mini iron would work, like if you have a mini craft iron. And you're just going to go over this. Now, this has been sitting for a bit. I didn't dry anything with the drying tool except the seeds on the strawberry. So oftentimes the way you tell that it's done, like that your heat setting is done, is that it does not feel tacky anymore. If you let something sit for a while to dry, it's not going to feel tacky anyway necessarily. But you still want to double check, and it should have a nice smooth finish. And so now we're heat set, and all that is left to do is stuff this with some polyfill, and we have ourselves a cute little lumbar pillow. So this is the April Club Couture project. We are running a special in April. New club members get 5 free previous club transfers, and for free when you sign up for a club. You get a free project sent to you every month with all of the supplies that you need: a reusable silk screen transfer, a surface, multiple paste or ink packs depending on what the project is, and the first time you get your club package, you get a squeegee. And of course, your designer can always hook you up with squeegees if you need more. So you can go to the link in the comments and learn more about Club and sign up. And there you go. That is my first, I think I'm going to call it project of the day. Instead of 15 projects in 15 days. We'll see. I may change my mind about that. And feel free to put a question in the comments if you have any questions for me. All right. Thanks for watching. Talk to y'all later. Bye.